Okay guys, happy Friday and welcome to your APA format guide. APA stands for the American Psychological Association. This is the format or the reference style that you will use in disciplines like social science and science. If you have the option of writing a paper in Microsoft Word, you have access to Microsoft Office. My suggestion is that you always do your writing in Microsoft Word. I'm going to do this in Google Docs today because everybody has access to it. But if you have the option of using Word, please do so, as, not only do you have the stability of sort of setting something and having it stay there without going back and forth, but you also have the added element of grammar checks and highlights in areas where maybe you have a fragment sentence, verb noun agreements, tense agreements, etc. Google Docs, while I like it for its convenience, is not the same, is not equal when it comes to alerting you to grammar mistakes. If you do use Grammarly, then it's negligible to you either way. When you go in to set up your APA format, the first thing you're going to do is insert a header. When you click your header option, whether it's in Word or in Google Docs, you need to click different first page because these will not be the same. And then you are going to go into font, Times New Roman, and then set the font size. If you have Microsoft Word, you can set the font size and font style off the bat, and it'll hold. In Google Docs, I find that you have to go back and forth. If there's a way around that, I haven't discovered it yet. In your header, in regular title font, you're going to write running head, and then in caps locks, you are going to put the title of your paper, and then you're going to tab over to right alignment, and then insert page numbers. Page number 1. I went a little too far. And then once you are done that, you're going to go to the body of your paper. You'll notice in Google Docs to set back to its default. So I'm going to set it to what I want it to. Then I'm going to go to center alignment for the actual title. And then same size font, but in regular title caps, the title of your paper. And then I'm going to go back to format. Maybe I haven't been here yet. And hit double spacing. And then you are going to put your name and then the name of your institution. Your profs or your TAs might ask for more information than this. They might want things like dates, their names, course codes, etc. For the purposes of our paper, this is all that you will need on your title page. So once you have this done, you are going to go back to Insert, and you are going to insert a page break. And then once you are in this section on page 2, you're going to go back to Insert, Header Footer. And then here, again, that default switches for some reason. So Times New Roman, size 12. And then in caps, on left alignment, the title of your paper, and then just be sure, again in Google Docs, if this switched over to Arial, then this goes back to Times New, and then in the body of your paper, the first thing that you're going to do is go back to this center alignment. So here we are, and then you are going to write the title of your paper again. Hit enter, go back to that left alignment, just take a peek, make sure that your paragraphs And styles and line spacings haven't changed, so we're still on double. Align and indent is normal. And then I'm going to manually, on my paper, indent those first paragraphs. I'm not going to use the option of setting my indent spacing even on Microsoft Word, because it makes formatting or makes inserting long quotes or long citations in your references more difficult, and the formatting can get a little bit disjointed. So here, once I've begun writing, again, I'm just going to manually indent one tab in from the left, so just that one, and then I'm going to begin writing my paper, hopefully with a captivating introduction sentence, and then move on through my writing. As I build my paper, I'm not going to create any more page breaks or mess with the formatting until the very end. The only other time that I need to start something on a fresh page, and this is regardless of headers that you are putting in your paper, perhaps for, introduction, review of literature, methodology, etc. Those all run equally. You don't start new pages with those. At the very end, after my conclusion, I'm going to go back to that page break because I want a fresh page for references. I'm going to go back to that center alignment. And I am going to make references my header, go back to the left side, and then in format, I'm going to go to align and indent, and in my indentation options, I'm going to select special indent. This is a little bit different in Microsoft Word, but again, it'll be under format and under insert. And instead of first line or none, I'm going to create a hanging indentation and apply that at 0.5. I'm not going to mess with those margins. Once I go to put in my first references, my references are anything that I used in text. So any scholarly article, any journal that I found, anything that I drew information from to make meaning out of your data collection, or to give background or context, anything that you use in your literature review goes in this section, and it goes alphabetically in terms of the citation list, but also alphabetically in terms of the authors used in any given citation. So, for example, if I have multiple authors, I'm going to have author last name, comma, the first initial for that author, period, comma, the new author's last name, comma, their first initial. If there are only two, then you can put a period here and move on. If there's only one, obviously it'll end here. If there are 3 or 4, you would continue in this vein. Once you pass 4 authors, you can do 3 periods and then the final author. When you are here, after you finish this last author, you can create that year bracket, put the year bracket, period, title, period. All of these things, different than MLA, are going to occur in normal font. When you go to put in the journal or the main source that article or the information was taken from, that will go in italics. So, for example, the journal is in italics, the volume number, and the issue number, which will go in brackets, then a comma, and then in regular font, no longer italicized, the pages that you used, period. So if I want an actual example of this, it's going to look, again, author by last name alphabetically first, so F before M, so Foskeren, comma L, period, comma Mackintosh, comma K, period. There are only 2, in brackets, the year of the publication, period, the title of the work, period, the journal it came from, comma, the volume number, the issue, and then comma, and the page numbers used, okay? And then a period at the very end. Okay. Once I'm in the actual body of my paper and I want to use citations in text, I have a few different options as long as I'm giving credits to the person whose idea I am using. Again, citations are always better if you have a question as to whether or not you should use it. If you think you kind of took an idea, use the citation. So if I want to use a citation in text, I'm going to do, or I could do something like, in a writing study conducted by Foskeren and McIntosh, here I'm giving credit to the writers or to the people that conducted the study and wrote the journal, and then the year in brackets, and then what I found in their study. And whatever I found, the idea that I'm citing, the page number that I found it on. This is one way of creating that citation for these authors. Once I've given credit to that study and the year in which it was conducted, I don't have to use this again. I can just refer to the page numbers. So it'll look like this. An alternate option that I have when creating the citation in text, if I don't want to refer to a study conducted by, if that doesn't mesh with sort of your writing flow, you can give credit to the authors, citing whatever it happens to be, with an in-bracket citation, so Foskeren L, McIntosh K, 2020, and then the idea that you took and the page in which you took it from. You could also do this at the end of the sentence, or at the end of the entire idea, instead of breaking up these page numbers from this. And it would look like when you were done. Okay. The option is really up to you as long as you are giving credit to the author. If you are switching back and forth between citations, you're going to have to go back to letting whoever know which author's work you are now referring to. So if you have multiple citations in the same paragraph, you're going to have to give credit to those authors again. If you have any questions about how to cite in text, or you want me to take a look at something that you have written and the way that you have cited it, please send me a copy of it or send me an email so that I know you want it looked at, or even share it with me on Google Docs. When you are writing your papers, again, feel free to use, people's work to build your ideas and to back up what it is you want to say. Citations and research papers, as long as you are still showing that you have a new idea, are not a bad thing. To use other people's work to support your own doesn't mean that you haven't done enough of your own research. It means that you're showing a connection to work that's already been there, or you're disproving why you think that those authors maybe didn't conduct a study, or you don't agree with the results of their study. So again, because you're showing your own thinking, it's okay to use other people's work to help you do that, or to help show why you didn't like it, or you disagree with it. If you have any questions, please let me know, and hopefully you'll be able to use these citations or this sort of format video as a refresher if you need it in the future.